Um, that's like my actual job. So being in the, especially in Loudoun County, I'll be moving to a different school next year, but being in Loudoun County and like seeing all this like come to life, and working like with my high schoolers who ask questions and trying to guide them to places where they can find those resources and everything. Then you also have like some pushback from their parents, like, oh, you told my child that they're private for that. I'm not the the professional here when it comes to knowing everything and anything. I'm just their teacher.
Yeah, we used to have Rock Creek Singers of the Gay Men's Chorus do an annual benefit for
Oh,
Equality
okay.
Loud. This was before COVID.
Test, test,
We'd
test.
have a
Test, test,
speaker
test.
come in and you know do a testimonial basically of
Test, test, test.
this is what I'm challenges I faces or what
Yeah.
accomplishments we've made. Any number, but it was important. My brother, I saw what happened. All the nonsense that my brother had
wave to you. Jim will wave.
I know, he does that.
And Mary will show us.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Sterling, to both those in person and online. My name is John Botts, and I am honored to serve this congregation as a member of the Board of Trustees.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. This morning we're going to start with a gathering hymn, Building Bridges. It's number 1023 in the teal hymnal. The words will be on the screen, and we're going to do this as a round. So somewhere in the middle here is going to be the cutoff, and on this side will be group 1, on the other side will be group 2. I'll bring you in, but the first time through the song, we'll sing it all together, and then I'll bring in group 1 and group 2. We'll sing it twice through as, a total of 3 times through, once all together and twice as a round. So thank you. See how we do. Yes, please, everybody stand. Thank you. One more time, Mary. Everybody. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? Of all our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges beneath our divisions, building bridges beneath our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, building bridges between our divisions. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Beautiful, thank you very much. Have a seat.
Well, sorry. It's out of order.
You're doing this. Oh, we did that already. Then you're not here. Thank you. It's me. We're working on this. Okay. That was beautiful. Thank you, Mary, and so much, Mark. It is my pleasure to tell you about our guest speaker today, Rebecca Semidey, whose pronouns are she, her, told me that a few months ago she joyfully joined Equality Loudoun team as educational coordinator. This lets her combine 2 things she cares deeply about: teaching and building a more loving, inclusive community in Loudoun County. Sounds familiar? Don't we want to do that too? Rebecca was born and raised right here in Loudoun, and she also worked and works now as a high school special education teacher who absolutely adores her students. She has also spent years serving in ministries and mentoring programs across the DMV, always centering on inclusion, compassion, and support for young people of every background. Here's a few things about Rebecca that make her smile. She is an avid reader. 40 books this year. Congrats. And a country line dancing enthusiast. Whoa. A traveler at heart, a weightlifting lover, and someone who will happily try any new food at least once. And I'm grateful that she is grateful, and I am grateful. The Equality Loudoun's mission, it will be told by her today, and she is excited to continue helping our community grow in understanding, affirmation, and love.
So welcome to this place of fellowship and peace, renewal and deepening, engagement and reflection. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your identity, age, ability, or history, know that you are welcome to bring your full self here. If you are a visitor, we are so glad you are here. You are invited to join us for an in-person fellowship or a virtual coffee hour after the service. To learn more about UUCS or Unitarian Universalism, you are welcome to reach out to me. Finally, I invite you to share a greeting with those who are around you and to both, yes, you may greet each other. Now let us share worship with reverence and authenticity.
Our chalice lighting today is "The Heart Knoweth" by Ralph Waldo Emerson. We have a great deal more kindness than is ever spoken. The whole human family is bathed in an element of love, like fine ether. How many persons we meet in houses, whom we scarcely speak to, whom yet we honor and who honor us. How many we see in the street or sit with in church, whom we silently, warmly rejoice to be with. Read the language of those wandering eye beams. The heart knoweth.
Our chalice hymn is number 1053, How Could Anyone? And of course, the words will be on the screen. I invite everybody to stand as you're willing and able as we sing, How Could Anyone? How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply we're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Thank you. Please be seated.
The ritual of sharing our joys and sorrows invites us to hear one another and to heal one another. I would invite you to briefly share great losses or milestones if you wish. If you're in the sanctuary, I invite you to share your name and your joy or sorrow from the mic in front. And if you're online, I invite you to share your joy or sorrow in the chat box, and we will look it up and give you voice. As you share, Rosalie will place a stone in the dry bowl into the bowl of water. Wait a second. We're working on it. Try now.
Okay, thank you. It's a joy just to see so many people jockeying for position to come up here and say something today, so that's great. Yesterday, we had a fantastic auction item. Jack took us to the National Museum of Women in the Arts, and I was able to find something in the museum store to donate to the museum budget. So I thank you, Jack. It was a great day, really nice trip.
Hi, my joy is that I got to go to open mic night on Friday and I made friends. I got to sing songs and my band was there and things are starting to work out in that respect, like a boss. And I just wanted to say a positive affirmation to everyone before I leave. Positive vibes, energy, light, and love. I hope that everyone treats every last one of you with the kindness, respect, and dignity that you all deserve because you guys make this world a better, brighter, more beautiful place. Have a great day.
Into the family, you know, at some point hard decisions will have to be made, and we had to go through that Monday. No matter how many times you do it, it never gets any easier. And this one was particularly hard because of the unexpectedness of the whole thing. So we're having a little bit of a tough time right now.
Hi, I'm Shelley. I had the joy a couple weeks ago of going with my entire close family to Kennywood Amusement Park up in Pittsburgh. 9 of us went. It was both my sons, both my daughters-in-law, my nephew, my sister, and both my grandsons. And my younger grandson was finally tall enough to go on all the rides. And I discovered a new roller coaster to fall in love with. So it was a great day.
You're allowed to share, yeah. Please.
Okay. Good morning, I'm Christine, and I have 2 joys to share. My daughter's birthday is this week, and she will be turning 22. So I'm happy she'll be around that I can share that with her. And my son, who I haven't seen since January, is in town for a business trip this week, so I'll be seeing little moments of him when he's not hanging out with friends, so I'm very excited.
I'm Nancy Sherwood. I always have something to say. The song that we just sang, How Can Anyone Say You're Not Beautiful? When I was about 7, my mother looked at me and said, "You're so ugly, how can you be my daughter?" And please be careful with your words. It makes a difference.
Please, he'll come up in a minute, I'm sure.
Hi guys, I'm Rebecca, the guest speaker. A joy that I have is I accepted a new teaching position. I'll no longer be in Loudoun, but I'll still be close by working with some students from Loudoun. I'll be working with Inova's Keller Center, so I'm really excited for that. It's one of my dream jobs. So.
What, Billy, do you? Okay, cool.
Hi, my name is Jeff, and I have a joy. Actually, I saw The Odyssey twice. It's great to finally go to the movies with friends again. I've been going to the movies alone ever since my good friend Lee passed in April. And it was great to be surrounded by friends again.
I'm Rosalie, and it's nice to be back with you after having gone to Norway. It was a great trip, highly successful, although on the way over there was a little drama. But if you have a little drama on the plane, you want to be taken care of by Scandinavian Airlines, because they, when I started blacking out on the flight, they immediately went into action. I was surrounded by the stewards and stewardesses, and they had oxygen for me probably in less than 5 minutes, and they made sure that I was okay to go on to my next flight, and it was all done with a very nice spirit of support. And and then after seeing the sights in Norway, which I would be happy to regale you with stories about, so I came back, and my grandchildren visited for 3 days with us, and we went, they and I went hiking at Great Falls and River Bend every day. It was great.
Wow. Well, there's no comments from online. Actually got it going. But we should keep in mind those who have joys and sorrows that are still too tender to be shared aloud. And we place this final bowl and stone in the bowl. Thank you, Rosalie. Well, it is time for all ages, and I know most of you are extremely young at heart, but you are fine sitting where you are. You do not have to rush up. It is a wonderful story I get to share with you. It is And Tango Makes Three. It is written by Justin Richardson and Peter Parnell and illustrated by Henry Cole. And I actually have, I'll see, there is something in the Wonder Box. I'll share it at the end. It's a very cool photo. So, in the middle of Central Park, New York City, and where children love to play. It has a toy boat pond where they can sail their boats. It has a carousel to ride on in the summer and an ice rink in the winter. Best of all, it has its own zoo. Every day, families of all kinds go to visit the animals there. So these are lovely illustrations, too. I might have to shorten some of this. The story is incredible, though. Now, children and their families aren't the only families in the zoo. There are animals with families of their own. There are red panda bear families with mothers and fathers and furry red panda bear cubs. There's monkey dads and monkey moms raising noisy monkey babies. There are toad families and toucan families and cotton-topped tamarin families, too. That's a long list. Incredible. There are many, many families. We want to learn about the penguins. So there are penguin families. Every year at the very same time, the girl penguins start noticing the boy penguins, and the boy penguins start noticing the girls. When the right girl and the right boy find each other, they become a couple. Two penguins in the penguin house were a little bit different. One was named Roy, and the other was named Silo. Roy and Silo were both boys, but they did everything together. They bowed to each other and walked together and sang to each other and swam together. They didn't spend much time with the girl penguins, and the girl penguins didn't spend time with them either. Instead, Roy and Silo wound their necks around each other. Their keeper, Mr. Let me get his name right, Gramsay, noticed the two penguins and thought to himself, they must be in love. Roy and Silo watched how the other penguins made a home. So they built a nest of stones for themselves. Every night, Roy and Silo slept there together, just like other penguin couples. Every morning, Roy and Silo woke up together. But one day, Roy and Silo saw that other couples could do something they could not. The mama penguin would lay an egg. She and the papa penguin would take turns keeping the egg warm until finally it would hatch, and there would be a baby penguin. I love this picture. They still had no egg to sit on and keep warm. They had no baby chick to feed and cuddle and love. Their nest was nice, but it was a little empty. One day, Roy found something that looked like what other penguins were hatching. He brought it to the nest. It was only a rock, but Silo sat on it and sat. And sat, and Silo got sleepy. He slept. And when Silo was done sleeping and sitting, he swam and Roy sat. Day after day, they sat on the rock. But nothing happened. Then Mr. Gamze got an idea. He found an egg that needed to be cared for. He brought it to Roy and Silo's nest. I guess you can see where this is going. It's a great story. So they knew what to do. They moved the egg to the center. Every day they turned it so each side stayed warm. Some days Roy sat while Silo went for food. Other days it was Silo's turn to take care of the egg. They sat in the morning. They sat at night, through lunchtime, swim time, and supper. And at the beginning of the month, they sat at the end of the month, and they sat all of the days in between. Long time. Yes, indeed, they heard a sound coming from inside their egg. Peep, 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 peep. It said. Roy and Silo called back, squawk, squawk, peep, peep, and answered the egg. And here's a beautiful sequence of pictures showing the opening of the egg. Suddenly a tiny hole appeared, and then crack. Out came their very own baby. She had a fuzzy white feathers and a funny black beak. Now Roy and Silo were fathers. We'll call her Tango, Mr. Gamze decided, because she takes two to make a tango. Roy and Silo taught Tango how to sing for them when she was hungry. They fed her food from their beaks. They snuggled her in the nest at night. Tango was the very first penguin in the zoo to have two daddies. And I'll just show you a few pictures here. You can imagine that Tango is growing and learning to swim, and everybody's appreciating. This is a real event, by the way, that actually happened. This is not a made-up story. The children came to the zoo. They could see Tango and her two fathers playing with the other penguins, and they shouted, "Hooray, Roy! Hooray, Silo! Hooray, Tango!" And here's a picture of them all together. And I would like to end this story with a beautiful photo. Get it out of the box. Yay! They're chin strap penguins. You can see a little black line underneath their chin. And that is the picture of the two dads and Tango. So please come see it later if you like. We don't need to sing our children out. I think they're okay. So, thank you.
It is time for our offering. We've received freely of gifts that minister to our needs of body and spirit. May we now gladly give a portion of that bounty. 100% of today's cash offering will support Equality Loudoun. Equality Loudoun is a nonprofit dedicated to building a community in Loudoun County where LGBTQIA+ people are welcomed, affirmed, and safe. Through inclusion, education, and community support, they provide resources, training, and connection opportunities that reduce isolation and strengthen belonging. Their work spans advocacy, outreach, partnership with schools, facilities, and other local organizations. Equality Loudoun strives to replace misinformation with understanding, building networks of active allies, and defends equal protections for LGBTQIA+ individuals. By supporting Equality Loudoun, all of us can invest in a more just, loving, and equitable Loudoun, one where every person can live openly, authentically, and with dignity. Okay. If you're in the sanctuary, you may place your donations in the basket as they are passed. Online attendees can use the donate button in the virtual order of service, and donations may also be made by mail or via the donate tab on the UUCS homepage, and there is also a QR code in the order of service. So please note when your donation is towards your pledge.
Boston, Massachusetts, November 12th, 2025. Unitarian Universalist Association President, the Reverend Dr. Sophia Bettencourt, joined 10 other leaders of diverse religious traditions in issuing a landmark statement proclaiming that transgender, intersex, and non-binary people are worthy of love, support, and protection. As heads of diverse religious traditions in the United States, our faiths call on us to proclaim that transgender, intersex, and non-binary people deserve respect, love, and equal rights. During a time when our country is placing their lives under increasingly serious threat, there is a disgraceful misconception that all people of faith do not affirm the full spectrum of gender. A great many of us do. Let it be known instead that our beloveds are created in the image of God, holy and whole. As we make justice our aim, we must give voice to those who are silenced. Our shared values, held across many faiths, teach us that we are all children of God and that we must cultivate a discipline of hope, especially in difficult times. As such, we raise our voices in solidarity to unequivocally proclaim the holiness of transgender, non-binary, and intersex people, as well as the recognition of the entire spectrum of gender identity and expression.
Hello, everyone. I am Rebecca. I've probably been just I'm a little bit shorter than everyone else. I am super excited to be here with you guys. As Denise shared, I am the education coordinator for Equality Loudoun. I've been working with them for a couple months, just creating content and training materials and just ways to educate the community on everything there is to know about the LGBTQI+ community. All right, so I called it building a wider circle of belonging, simply because I think it's really important that we understand just who everyone is, and just wanting to make sure that everyone feels loved and welcomed. All right, so next slide will show our mission, our vision, and our status. So about Equality Loudoun, our mission is that we are a nonprofit organization that builds community, promotes inclusion, and provides education to support the LGBTQ equality in Loudoun County. We do kind of span into other counties as well, just trying to kind of go where we can to support our community. Our vision for Equality Loudoun is an inclusive community where the LGBTQ people and other marginalized groups are fully embraced by active allies and can live safely and openly. And then just a little bit about us, our status. We are an active 501c3 charitable organization in good standing with the Internal Revenue Service, all the nitty-gritty background details. So our history, we were founded in 2003 as a grassroots LGBTQIA+ advocacy group. We focus on public perception, marriage equality, and anti-discrimination protections. Someone in the congregation came up to me and asked, what we're currently working on and whatnot. And we're continuing in the works of just continuing to support our community and obviously be able to answer questions and educate. And similar to how one of our other speakers had mentioned, just trying to make misinformation not misinformation, understanding just everyone's background and learning how to support and advocate. We help to create safe spaces, organize rallies, marches in local parades. I'm sure some of you have heard about Loudoun Pride. So that happened back in June, and then we just had our redoing of the crosswalk in downtown Leesburg. I call it Old Town Leesburg, grew up down there. But we just finished repainting it on Friday morning. So that was really fun being able to do that. We have built early networks of visibility, friendship, and community support. And then in 2001, that is when we gained our 501c3 status. So this is, you can go to the next slide, sorry. This is just a picture from one of our parades. It's a bit of an older picture, but just kind of wanted to show some of what we've done and just the rallies we've been able to go to. You can go to the next slide. So supporting Loudoun, in Quality Loudoun, we do advocacy and public engagement, education and training, which is what I'm in charge of, community support and connection, and direct support for individuals and families, and then coalition building and partnerships. So go to the next one. So advocacy and public engagement. So advocacy work, making sure that LGBTQIA+ voices are heard across Loudoun County. Oftentimes we see that they get silenced and aren't given a big enough platform to speak freely. So we help with monitoring legislation and public policies and school policies. We speak at public meetings, mobilize community members to advocate for inclusion practices, and we partner with local leaders to promote equity. And I'll kind of speak on this in another slide, but working with our allies to continue our advocacy work. You can go to the next slide. So my section, education and training, as a current educator and former mentor, I really align a lot with this. So Equality Loudoun provides education to help the community build just better understanding of our community and the LGBTQIA+ identities and experiences. In turn, we help with building safer and more informed spaces. I am proud to announce that we have opened up our own space in Leesburg by what I used to call the Cobb Theater, but it's over by, I guess, Village of Leesburg is what it's called now. So we help with workshops for parents, educators, and allies. We try to make a big emphasis on that because there are a lot of individuals whose families don't entirely understand, and that's not necessarily blaming them. It's more so not being given the right support and understanding on how to support their loved ones. And then, of course, educators and allies. So we do a lot of educational trainings or presentations with different organizations, different companies. We recently provided education training for Loudoun County, their health department. And so just kind of offering, whether it's yearly, monthly, however often these companies and organizations would like that material. That way we're kind of all on the same page of, you know, this is how we support, this is how we advocate and love our community members. We also do presentations at schools, faith communities such as this, civic groups, and then resources that counter misinformation, like I had mentioned, and continuing to promote understanding. Go to the next one. So on the left, it's actually a close personal friend of mine. Her daughter had received a scholarship from Equality Loudoun. And then on the right, we have from our policy, or one of the policies that we had been advocating for in Loudoun County for those who were struggling with use of the bathrooms. So working with our trans community, our intersex community, and just continuously showing support throughout that time. Go to the next one. So community support and connection. The heart of Quality Loudoun is creating spaces where LGBTQIA+ communities, people can gather and connect and feel affirmed. So originally our mission, or like the heart of Equality Loudoun, was more so the advocacy. We wanted to kind of gear it towards just supporting and connecting with the community in general. Obviously we continue to advocate, but in that it kind of encompasses it all. So this means when we have social events or support groups or pride celebrations and community partnerships, we're continuing to gather like-minded people, and even those who might not fully understand or just need a little more understanding of what our community is and how to connect and allow for the LGBTQIA plus people to feel affirmed. All right, so this is just a couple more pictures. Oh, sorry, the crosswalk is a little awkward there. But we finished painting the crosswalk on Friday. They had shut down the road for a little bit for us to do that, and we had a lot of people come by and just, riding their bike at a very early time in the morning. They're like, oh my gosh, thank you for what you're doing. So it was really nice to see that, and just to see people wanting to come by and stop by and show their support. And then we have another picture of one of the Loudoun Pride parades that we had, and then we just kind of have some pop-ups here and there at different events. So I just wanted to show a couple of those pictures as well. Go to the next one. Like I mentioned, we opened a community space. I'm just going to read off of it because it comes directly from our website. So our new home is a safe, welcoming space where LGBTQ plus people, families, and allies can connect, learn, and thrive. Together, we're creating a center that reflects our community and strengthens Loudoun for everyone. So in the bottom right corner is where our location is. Again, it's at Village at Leesburg. You can see it here, or if you want to access our website, Equality Loudoun, everything is there. We try to update it as much as possible, but we just had our ribbon cutting about 2 weekends ago, and we're just really excited to be able to provide a space for just everyone in the community. We have like a library in there. We have a lot of things that we got donated, whether it was furniture, equipment, whatever it might be, but just continuing to offer a space where if maybe someone doesn't feel super safe in their home life, they can come and just find some kind of comfort and safety there. And usually we always have someone on the board, or me, or anyone else who works for Equality Loudoun just there to kind of provide guidance, assistance, and just a talk, someone who wants to talk to you, so like a listening ear and whatnot. It's an awesome space. We're super excited to continue growing on that and being able to provide more trainings and just community events in general. And so to the next one is just a picture of our ribbon cutting. Again, we were just super excited to have a really good turnout. We have a couple of our board members there, other people from the community, and we just got to share just overall exciting event for us and for the community. And go to the next one. So like I mentioned, direct support for individuals and families. Equality Loudoun helps LGBTQIA plus individuals navigate challenges related to identity, safety, and belonging. This can also be whether, like I said, in organizations that we've done trainings for, in the school system. We've done some trainings with, government-affiliated groups where they wanted to learn a little more about like equity in general, and then also about working and interacting with the LGBTQIA plus community. So I had mentioned, guidance for families who have LGBTQIA plus youth, and this also includes maybe some kids or youth who are in that stage where they're questioning things. And so we provide guidance and support for those families and loved ones to kind of help them through that, because it can be really daunting, especially not fully understanding or knowing what to say, and wanting to offer the safest experience for their loved ones. Support for individuals facing discrimination, both in daily life and then in the workforce as well. We connect to affirming mental health providers. So in a couple pages, maybe the next slide, I think, I have kind of a very, very short list of some of the allies that we have. And in that, there's a couple of mental health providers. And then we also do assistance with finding safe community spaces. So not only the space that we have opened up, but other maybe organizations that work with the LGBTQIA plus community, whether it's in Loudoun, outside of Loudoun, because we do have people who, although Google is free, sometimes it's kind of scary to go on there and like look up a group that you could work with or that you could find support with. So we do offer kind of a route to finding other groups. And we can go to the next page. So coalition building and partnerships. After this slide, I'll show some more of our allies. So in Equality Loudoun, we collaborate with schools, faith communities, local nonprofits, mental health providers, civic organizations. These partnerships have been able to help us expand and reach inclusive programming and strengthen countywide support networks. And so if we go to the next slide, all good, all good. I'll just keep talking about it. It's a screenshot of on our website. Oh, awesome. So on our website, under Inclusions folder or tab at the top, you can kind of go through all of our allies and click through each one. And then if we want to go to the next page, this again is just a very brief group of our allies, some of our current partnerships. So we have Unitarian, bless you, Universalist Congregation of Sterling. We have the ARC, which I've worked closely with, Free Mom Hugs, Cycle Bar, some law groups, Innova, LEA, Loudoun Trauma Informed Community, Crossroads. So just a bunch of different groups that we currently partner up with and that we get to proudly call our allies. And so sometimes if we have people in our community who just need help with finding whether it's, you know, a workout place that they can feel welcomed, we'll say, hey, Cycle Bar, if you like riding a bike, which I'm not a bike rider, if you want to ride a bike, we have Cycle Bar in Ashburn, and they're really great and they love to support us. I know as a teacher, LEA, someone who works in health as well now that I'm moving into another position, Innova, and then we also just have a really, really big group of just partners who we get to call our allies, which we're really happy about. And then we can go to the next slide. So the next few slides is just continuing to show how the community can continue to support us so that we can also support our LGBTQIA+ community. So you can support Equality Loudoun by showing up, speaking up, standing with LGBTQIA+ community, whether through donations, volunteering, attending events, or sharing our educational resources. Every action helps build Loudoun County where everyone is welcomed, affirmed, and safe. Together we can create a community rooted in inclusion and dignity and love. And go to the next one. And then obviously we are very grateful for just any offering that was offered today, but outside of offerings from today, there's ways to donate. This again just comes right off from the Equality Loudoun site. So just why you can donate. Your gifts build inclusive programs, community events, trainings, and services that help everyone show up authentically. When you can donate literally whenever, at 3 a.m., 5 a.m., you know. I don't know, sometimes I wake up at 3 a.m., I'm like, all right, I'm ready for the day. And some other ways that your donations kind of help is just helping with our community space. So we were fortunate enough to, again, open up our community space, funds for trainings. So that means kind of funding what I do is creating those trainings and opportunities to educate organizations and groups and schools through different trainings that I am able to create. And unfortunately, it's not like a few clicks of the button. It does take a little bit of time and research to make sure that I'm not giving any misinformation. And, you know, there's some things that I still am learning. Learning is for everyone, and it's constant. I might sound like silly for saying that because I'm an educator, but I truly love it. Continuing to build inclusive events and growing our network of allies and supporting with scholarships. Obviously, why it matters is a lot of the LGBTQIA+ people face high rates of discrimination, harassment, homelessness, and safety concerns. So any support, again, whether it's monetary, whether it's just coming out and, you know, speaking up and standing up with us, it can really help create a real change. And then in the next slide, it's just kind of our usual showing how you can donate if you go onto the website, which I have up there, and then I know that they have a QR code and you could donate online. You can write a check. I still write checks to my landlord, so I get it. And then even if you're interested in donating any kind of furniture, materials, or if you reach out to Equality Loudoun regarding donating, if you have a chair that you're I don't really need it, we're always happy to collect any donations, because not only does it come to our community space, we can also offer it to anyone who may, need a chair. But yeah, and then the next slide is just at the end, the thank you. Again, our website is right there. You can email us, call us. My email's not up there, but it's on the website. It just kind of goes to education coordinator for Equality Loudoun, and I try to be very responsive on there. So if you ever have any questions, or you're just kind of like, hey, I just want to chat, I'm always open to chatting and being able to be there for you guys. But I appreciate your guys' time. Thank you so much for welcoming me in and welcoming Equality Loudoun in. It really means a lot to me personally, and then to our organization. And I know it means a lot to our community as well. Thank you.
Well, we're really privileged to hear more about Equality Loudoun. We've never had a speaker before that I know of, so I'm really thrilled about this, and hopefully we can continue a relationship with Equality Loudoun. So as we prepare to conclude our service, you're invited to reach out your hand into the space of this community to join in a virtual circle inclusive of all. First, we will extinguish our chalice while we carry its light in our hearts. Please join in our covenant. Very good. This congregation is dedicated to the proposition that behind all our differences and beneath all our diversities, there is a unity that binds us together and makes us one in spite of time and death and the space between the stars. We pause now in silent witness to that unity.
I have a few announcements, and we have several events coming up. You're invited to hear a presentation of the results of the Living Our Faith survey that you all completed online. I believe most of you completed online. And that's coming up Sunday, August 9th, after worship services from 11:30 to 12:45. And please also join us for our congregational startup in mid-August, and we will explore and identify priorities for the new fiscal year with Reverend Cara. This two-part gathering is missing a page here, sorry. But I'll just say that we have on Friday, the August 14th, is a potluck dinner for the whole congregation. The event will be led by a transitional leader from UUA, from the central section of UUA. And then on Saturday will be a rather long but very detailed look at who we are and where we want to go with Reverend Cara. So I invite you all to come to be a part of that. Leaders will be at the Saturday event, which will be the board, committee leads, and staff. And on Friday night is open to the whole congregation. So I hope I didn't confuse you by this, but it's all in, and looking forward to having a very exciting time and building our congregation with Reverend Carl.
We have a somewhat little longer benediction. It's just a beautiful reading that Tracy Rogers helped us find. So, thank you. And it's from James Baldwin's 1964 collaboration with Richard Acevedo, Nothing Personal. So I'll read the first part and then Rosalie will take over. One discovers the light in darkness. That is what darkness is for. But everything in our lives depends on how we bear the light. It is necessary, while in darkness, to know that there is a light somewhere, to know that in oneself, waiting to be found, there is a light. What the light reveals is danger, and what it demands is faith.
For nothing is fixed forever and forever and forever. It is not fixed. The earth is always shifting. The light is always changing. The sea does not cease to grind down rock. Generations do not cease to be born, and we are responsible to them because we are the only witnesses they have. Go with love and keep the light for each other and for these generations.
Our closing hymn is number 95, There's More Love Somewhere. And I invite everybody to stand as you're willing and able and join in singing, There's More Love Somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful week. I think we're going to have an online coffee hour, so please hold while we set that up.